It happens in a moment. You lose your job. A relationship ends. The future becomes a fog you can't see through. Your heart races, not from exertion, but from uncertainty. And in that instant, fear becomes your shadow. But what if you had the tools, not to escape uncertainty, but to face it head on? The ancient Stoics didn't chase comfort. They prepared for chaos. In this video, you'll discover 5 of their most powerful tools, forged in the fires of unpredictability. Tool 1. Negative visualization. He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand. Seneca. It starts as a quiet thought. What if I lose everything? Most people run from that voice, distract themselves, pretend everything will stay the same forever. But the Stoics, they did something different. They invited the thought in. Negative visualization is not morbid. It's preparation. It's rehearsing adversity, not to suffer twice, but to suffer less. Seneca practiced imagining the loss of everything he held dear: status, wealth, even loved ones. Not because he wanted to suffer, but because he wanted to become unbreakable. Imagine this. You wake up one day and your world has collapsed. The job you built your identity around is gone. The person you thought would never leave walks away. Your bank account is drained. Most people would spiral. But you've seen this in your mind already. You've trained for it. You don't panic, you act. It's like running fire drills for the soul. When the flames come, you don't freeze. You move with purpose. In a world obsessed with manifesting success, Stoics practiced visualizing loss because they knew that the man who has rehearsed disaster is no longer ruled by it. Practice this daily. Imagine the worst, not to summon it, but to strip it of its power. When life hits you hard, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready. Tool 2. The Dichotomy of Control. Some things are up to us and some are not. Epictetus. It's the morning after everything goes wrong. Your phone screen lights up with bad news. A message you didn't expect. An opportunity that slipped through your hands. You feel the panic rise, but you stop. Because you remember, not everything deserves a reaction. Not everything is yours to fix. This is the dichotomy of control. The Stoics' compass in chaos. Epictetus taught that there are only 2 types of things in life: those that are within your control, your beliefs, your responses, your values, and those that are not, other people's choices, the weather, the past, even your own body at times. Now, imagine life as a chessboard. You can control your moves, your focus, your strategy, but you can't control the opponent's play, or when lightning strikes and the board flips mid-game. Most people lose their minds when the board flips. A Stoic remains still, adjusts, moves forward. This isn't passive acceptance, it's strategic surrender. You stop bleeding energy into things you can't shape, so you can double down on the things you can. A Stoic doesn't waste time yelling at the waves. He learns how to sail. So when uncertainty creeps in, ask yourself, is this mine to control? If it is, act with resolve. If it isn't, release it with discipline. That's how clarity is born, in the eye of the storm. Tool 3. Voluntary discomfort. Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself all the while, "Is this the condition I feared?" Seneca, we spend most of our lives avoiding discomfort. Heaters in winter, smooth paths, soothing lies. But the Stoics did the opposite. They leaned into the edge, on purpose. This practice is called voluntary discomfort. It means stepping out of your comfort zone before life forces you to. Wearing simple clothes, sleeping on the floor, eating bland food, going without, not to suffer, but to strip fear of its illusion. Seneca fasted, slept without a mattress, walked the streets with plain clothes. Why? To prove to himself that the things he feared, the loss of luxury, of security, of comfort, were survivable. Now, picture this. You lose your income tomorrow. Your routines collapse. You're stripped of everything that once made you feel safe. For most people, it would be the beginning of a breakdown. But for a Stoic, it's just another day they've already practiced for. Voluntary discomfort isn't about masochism. It's about mental armor. Every cold shower, every skipped meal, every act of restraint sends a message to the subconscious. I can endure this. I am not ruled by comfort. I am stronger than I seem. When life eventually takes something from you, and it will, you'll already know the answer to Seneca's question. Is this what I feared? Tool 4. Amor Fati, love of fate. A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Marcus Aurelius. Most people resist life. They fight the breakup. They curse the delay. They wish the illness had never come. But the Stoics knew. Suffering is magnified when we resist what is. Amor Fati means the love of fate, not just accepting what happens, but embracing it as necessary, even beautiful. Imagine you're walking through a storm. The average person hunches over, curses the rain, and rushes through it. The Stoic, he lifts his face to the sky, opens his arms, feels the cold drops on his skin, and says, "This too belongs to me." Marcus didn't just endure hardship, he folded it into his philosophy. Plague, betrayal, war, loss. He didn't ask, "Why me?" He asked, "How can I use this?" That's the mindset of Amor Fati. Everything that happens, everything, becomes fuel. A challenge becomes training. A loss becomes clarity. Pain becomes firewood for the flame of growth. This isn't blind optimism. It's fierce realism, with an unwavering will to turn pain into purpose. You don't have to like everything that happens, but a Stoic finds a way to love through it, not by changing fate, but by mastering their response to it. Tool 5. Reflection through daily journaling. When the light has been taken away and my wife has fallen silent, aware of this habit that I have now formed, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said. Seneca. At the end of a long day, the world goes quiet. No more messages, no more noise, just you and your thoughts. This is where the final tool lives. Daily reflection. The Stoics knew that the unexamined day was a wasted one. Seneca wrote by lamplight. Marcus Aurelius filled entire notebooks, never meant for others to read, just to hold himself accountable, not to punish themselves, but to refine themselves. Imagine your mind as a battlefield. Each day, decisions are made, some virtuous, some reactive, some weak. Without reflection, those mistakes become habits. But with reflection, they become lessons. Journaling is more than writing. It's a mirror, one that doesn't flatter, doesn't lie, but quietly asks, where did I act in line with virtue today? Where did I let emotions take over? What will I do better tomorrow? And in that space, pen in hand, ego silence, you begin to separate who you are from who you're becoming. 5 minutes. That's all it takes to recalibrate your life. Reflection is how the Stoic sharpens his blade, so that when uncertainty comes again, he doesn't flinch. He's already faced himself and won. Bonus tool. Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. There's one truth that levels every man. No matter your status, your strength, your plans, death is coming. To the modern mind, this sounds grim. To the Stoic, it's a gift, a compass, a call to action. Memento Mori means, remember you must die. It isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to wake you up. Because when you understand that time is slipping through your fingers with every breath, you stop wasting it on petty arguments, on meaningless distractions, on fear. Picture a sand timer. Each grain falling is a moment of your life gone. How many did you spend worried about the opinions of others? How many did you spend preparing but never beginning? The Stoic doesn't run from death. He walks beside it, not in dread, but in urgency. To live today as if it matters. To speak truth while there's time. To love deeply, act boldly, and leave nothing unsaid. Memento Mori isn't a morbid reminder. It's a whispered command. Live now. You now hold the tools, not to predict the future, but to stand unshaken when it turns against you. Not to silence fear, but to walk with it and move forward anyway. But the real test? It won't come in the calm. It will come in the moment everything breaks. When the plan fails, when she walks away, when the world turns its back, that's when you'll know. Whether these tools were just words, or weapons you've learned to wield. So ask yourself now, when the storm comes, who will you be?